and welcome to another discussant interview at this year's APVA Awards 2023 Voices of the Future. I am T-Code, your host for this session, and like every other session, we'll be looking at very, very important topics for the progress of the industry in terms of voiceover, podcast, or spoken words. But for this session, we're looking at the voiceover industry, and the topic for this session is navigating through the trends and challenges of the voiceover industry. Joining me to speak on this topic is one of Africa's foremost voiceover experts. He is the founder of the Voiceover Workshop and Media, and he's also the convener of the Voiceover Conference. From Nigeria, I've got on this discussion session, Mr. Emmanuel Afemikhe, popularly known as King E. Good day, Mr. Emmanuel.
Good day, T-Code. It's good to see you again.
it's good to see you too again. I think it's better to call you King E and drop the formalities.
Yeah, that's that's better. And coming from you is even strange. So let's go.
Of course, of course. It's always a pleasure to have you and speak to you about voiceover topics. Well, this session is again the topic navigating through the trends and challenges of the voiceover industry. And the purpose of this session is to deeply examine and understand the current trends driving the voiceover industry's growth and explore the challenges that voice actors face in their careers. So I'll be throwing a couple of questions and I will be so elated as you answer those questions as an expert that you are.
Let's see what we can do. Let's jump into it.
All right. So my first question in the session is this. How has the rise of voice search and smart devices affected the demand for voice-over work?
All right. Thank you so much. Again, thank you for the opportunity. APVA, you guys are doing amazing. And kudos to everyone on the team. The rise, okay, to respond to your question, really, I don't think there's really a research that has been done to say, okay, this is what the rise of smart devices or voice search, has improved because of that. But within what I know that it has improved drastically. I mean, when I started voiceovers, social media was not a thing, or maybe it was there, but not as much as now. All right. And I know how many jobs I have done because I am online, because I have a smartphone, and then because I am online, right? And because of that, I think that it has one thing that I know that for a fact that it has done is that looking at Africa or starting from Nigeria, one thing is that it has positioned the average voiceover talent on a global stage. And because of that, a lot of people outside the country can now see what we have, what we can do, the kind of stories we tell, the ways, because see, I believe that the way we behave here in Africa is different from how they behave in the West. We all do voiceovers, but the interpretation, because I believe that the average African has a different tone and strength and pitch to their voice. So most of the time, I feel that us embracing our originality, knowing fully well that the way we would express the same words will be different because of the power and the strength that we have in our voices. And because of that, the Western world has, through the internet, through smartphones and devices, putting out content, I think it has expanded the voiceover space and, the interest that, voice. This is just the beginning, right? It has positioned us in a point where, we cannot hide anymore, right? And I think it's just the way to go. Embracing the fact that we have to put out content that to start getting to. So back then, the way voiceovers were done and the way you marketed yourself as a voiceover artist, it has changed drastically.
Yeah.
The only sad thing is a lot of people still want to remain in the old ways, and I think we can do well with embracing what's available, and it is an advantage, and we should take charge of it.
Great. Yeah. what advice would you give voiceover artists looking to expand their reach in the international market?
That is one question that I like. Okay. Because I'm a big fan of originality. I know a few voiceover talents who rather want to be some other person, who want to sound. I'm not trying to form an accent, but I usually look at it this way. I only buy what I don't have. I don't buy what I have. All right. So one of the best ways for you to showcase yourself is to be yourself. If you're an African, you're Kenya, you're Nigerian, you're Ghana, you're South Africa, the first thing you want to do is embrace the originality that you have. How you sound, how you interpret, don't try to sound soft when on a normal day, we don't sound soft here. Okay. In Africa, we sound like we are about to fight, right? So the thing is that, I mean, what I'm trying to say in essence is showcasing the true you, showcasing the originality that you have, being able to embrace the fact that you are African. That's what the world wants to buy. American than an American. You will try, but when it comes to the crux of the, work or project, we need the original. And they say they want original speaking, speakers, or original Nigerian English or something like that.
Yeah.
Because there's something about being original that is the main, that's what to try to explore, being embracing what you have. And then you have social media, you have your smart devices. Now position yourself for the world to see. Now they will be interested because you don't have this thing that you are selling. It is still voiceovers, but it is in a different way. It is easy for them to now buy it. Okay, we need Nigerian, we need a Kenyan talent. This is the person. But if I'm an American and I need an American voice, I would not call you, even though you are forming the accent to speak like an American, right? So the fastest way, I would say, is, of course, be yourself. That helps you to even start, start being recognized. The world will also see you. I know a smart device to put out content, and whether local jobs or international jobs, it doesn't change the facts. I am me, I am Nigerian, and I express that with my full chest. Amen.
All right. That sounds beautiful. And you mentioned social media, which I will be asking you a question about that later on. But back to the topic about being unique and doing what you know how to do best, that you represent. Sometimes, especially in these very competitive voiceover markets, both internationally and locally, we tend to deal with rejections. Of course, it's very, very competitive. You're dealing with different and many voiceover artists juggling for the same work. Everybody's putting on, auditioning. So the question now is, for people who face this on a daily basis or as much as they do, how would you advise that we handle rejection and overcome self-doubt in the competition?
Yeah. Well, that has a lot to do with your person. It's a personal decision. It will not come easy because you're human, but you have to a very large extent, just accept what is and what is not. Okay. You have to try to bother about the things that you cannot change. There are some things that no matter what you do, you cannot change them. They are how they would turn out, how they would turn out. Right? If your voice is presented to clients and the client decides to go with someone else, there was no way you could have changed that. What you can only do is become so good that it is hard for you to get rejected. And that's not something that you do overnight. You would have made mistakes. You would have been rejected several times, but you have to have that positive mindset to keep, it's self-determination to keep going. I keep telling people, I have been rejected. My voice has been rejected a few times. It's just that it doesn't happen often. When it happens all the time, then there's a problem. You need some improvements. You need to work on your voiceovers. You need to keep growing regardless. Okay. But you have to have that self-motivation to see that, okay, I didn't make it this time. I'll make it another time. Even if you didn't make it, you keep going, because I really don't think that, you know, it's exclusive to voiceover artistry. I think a lot of the time when you're doing something worthwhile, at different points you get rejected, or something would happen, you fail and all that. It doesn't mean, oh, because you didn't get it, this is not a calling. You know how sometimes you say, maybe this is not my calling. Imagine when I started voiceover, the first training I put together, nobody showed up after, you know, pushing and I had to cancel the training. I could have said, I know they do again. This is not my calling. Okay.
And
but we are
some
here
people
having
like
this
us are
conversation.
beneficiaries.
All right. So it is what it is. If you are unable to keep going regardless, then you're not ready to be successful in what just voiceover. The issues will come. You just have to have that positive mind and keep working, keep going. And trust me, it is better that you explore all the possibilities than say, oh, this is not for me, and just leave it. And maybe many years down the line you'll say, oh, maybe I didn't try enough. Okay. So just keep at it. Keep at it. Yeah.
That's a beautiful advice, you know, considering the many factors that can also be responsible for rejection. You know, sometimes it's not even just that you didn't do well, but there are many alternatives, and the voice texture is
your
just
voice might just not fit for that particular project. It's not as if you're not good. You know, there's all of that, right? And sometimes maybe you didn't send, let's even shake this table. Maybe you didn't send a good audio. For all those people that like to record on their phone, maybe your audio was bad and the client just couldn't listen. Okay. So there are a lot of things.
Exactly. So thank you very much for sharing your expert advice. Now let's talk about what you mentioned the other time, which I know that you are very, very efficient at using, which is social media. I want you to talk about the role social media performs or plays in building a voiceover artist's personal brand and also in finding new opportunities.
Right. Okay. Well, personal brand, it's really a combination of a lot of things. When you want to talk about branding, we will not go into all of that details, but personal brand is really a combination of there's no specific things. You know, sometimes some people will say, oh, it is when you choose this particular color and you're doing it. Sometimes your personal brand might be that you don't specifically choose a particular color, you wear whatever you want. So that's after some time, that's like you. People know that they can expect you to wear anything. Okay, but of course it's easier when there's consistency in whatever it is that you're doing. If you say, okay, color a particular font, you know, the kind of things you wear, you know, over time it becomes a part of your entity. Okay, now social media helps you to put out yourself in several ways. Of course, your work, the colors that you represent, or the colors that represent your brand. Okay, like in now, maybe it is black and white, maybe it is orange and black. You know, T Code has blue, he has purple or something like that, and white. You know, so over time, people recognize his products or his content very easily. And I will say it again, it is not a one-time thing. It is a continuous thing. Reason it's important because the truth is, sometimes you might get tired. You feel like, maybe this font, I should stop using it, or maybe I should stop wearing this thing, you know. But then consistency is the magic that happens with even your personal brand or your business brand or whatever it is. And like I said, it is not just about your logo. It is about how people feel when they come to your page. Let's bring it down to social media. How they feel. Do they leave there being excited? Do they leave there becoming too deep? That's, you know, because the words that you drop, they are deep things. All right. Do they leave there and feeling like, well, or do they leave your page and feeling like, God, when? You know, so at different points, what do they feel? That's what makes up your personal brand at the end of the day. Social media helps you a great deal. I am a very solid testimony about social media. I think most of what I have done I have done them based off the facts that I use social media. Okay, voiceover workshop, voiceover conference, Nigerian voice acting contest, King Ib, whatever. And it has given me several jobs. Okay. But then being online takes a lot. Okay, it's not just that, okay, I have social media, I have a smartphone, I can be online. You have to also be creative, and in this age and time, you have to have a content mindedness, if there's anything like that. Okay, but you have to start thinking of creative ways to put out your work. Now, aside the fact that I do voiceovers, voice actor and all that, I also do a bit of a few things here and there that really help me. I'm still learning these things, okay? They help me. I'm able to put content out, and sometimes they are not just they're quality content. Let me put it that way, okay? Because my audio, most of the time, before I send it out, it is properly recorded and properly mixed and mastered. My videos, even if I'm using my mobile phone, my smartphone on CapCut to edit, there's a difference between the selection of texts, the motion, the kinetics, typography that will come in. There's a bit of difference here and there that says, okay, this person knows how to handle this thing. If I give you my phone and you shoot something and I collect my phone and shoots the same thing, there's a high chance that my content or my video that I collect will be better than yours. Same device, all right, same visual, just different person took it. Okay, so for you to be successful around the social media, you have to pay attention to some of these things, how to do a bit of video editing here and there, audio editing here and there. I think most voiceover talents are just relaxed when they know how to maybe take a course on voiceovers and they know how to read scripts and interpret characters. They just feel, okay, it's fine, let me go and chill. All right. And because of that, and one thing it does for you putting content on social media is that you keep improving, because half the time you don't have time to practice. But when you do content, you get to practice all the time while also putting content out. So you see, you're not just doing one thing. So even if you're not motivated about, oh, I don't want to put out content, think of it as I am achieving more than one thing with trying to put content out on social media. And that positions consistent about it, and you keep putting out quality content. It's just a matter of time. You get the exposure, you get the jobs as much as possible, and you would improve and become a better voiceover artist.
Wow, interesting. Thank you so much, Kingi. I've learned a lot from this session, and I'm sure that others have learned as well, starting from the importance of putting out content, as it helps you build a very appealing social media presence.
Outlook, yeah.
Yeah, and it also helps you to rehearse your performance, and also talking about staying true to yourself, being unique, handling rejection well, and not giving up, and all of these great germs that you have given to us. As we round off this session, a question I'd like you to respond to, and you're responding in just 3 points, right?
Okay.
In three points, let me use that word. What are some effective strategies? And this is for voiceover artists that are, beginner voiceover artists or people who are newcomers. What are effective strategies to break into the voiceover industry, or to be prominent?
Effective strategies to be prominent. I think the first one is think beyond recording in the studio. I think that's one thing that has helped me a lot. I've met quite a number of voiceover artists, both new guys, those who are novices, those who are professionals. And I think one thing that, I would say limits a lot of voiceover artists or talents is the fact that most of us only think of the script. So the script and you, the script and you. So that's all it is for you. Okay, you have to think and see voiceovers as your everyday. Every day, wherever you go, It lives with you. You carry, you are not a voiceover artist because you are recording a script. You are a voiceover artist because you are a voiceover artist. So it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't change the facts. Okay. So now I'm saying this because a lot of us understand the fact that, oh, of course, you have to interpret an emotion or a character or a message using the right emotion and, the expression to convey a message and all of that, right? You have to analyze a character. You have to now interpret the character and stuff. When we want to record. So as soon as we leave the studio, it's like, okay, those things go back somewhere and just they're chilling and cooling and waiting for you to get back to the studio for them to come out and say, oh, if you want to create an impression and, interpret a character, do you understand? But what I'm trying to say is that first things first, you have to break out of that mindset of thinking small about what you do, because I think that there's a lot more to voiceovers than just recording behind the microphone. The other thing that you need to understand about breaking through is dare to do, dare to make things happen. And it is born out of the fact that some people think voiceover as something really small, and because of that, they are too afraid to even explore more or give more into voiceovers. Dare to do. Think, okay, what's the next level? After I know this thing, what's the next level? I keep saying that you will be a newbie for a very long time if you don't change certain things. Sometimes for you to move from one level to the other, you need to do something. For instance, I'm done with training. I'm a voiceover artist, right? Some people out of that class go ahead to start thinking, I need to get a microphone. I need to get a sound card. How about I get a light so that I can be doing this? How about I pad a particular space in my room so that I can use? Now, that's thinking and that doing or that action is taking them from just being newbie voiceover talents to a whole new level. They're now professionals who can, even if they are open to it, start recording other people and making extra money. So you see, there are levels to these things. I have done a few things in the industry. I think that's part of the reason I am here at all. So imagine I never did any of those things. I probably wouldn't be here. APVA wouldn't invite me to come and, I may know how to speak the entire English in this world, but who cares? Yeah. All right. So dare to do. The third thing that I will say is that you have to network with the right people. Let me put it in two ways. You have to be willing to learn from people who have gone ahead, and also network with the right people. Okay? These things will help you a great deal. Even at my level, sometimes I still call some of my colleagues to clarify a few things. Simply means that you keep learning. And keeping that right network and ensuring that the network is safe, sound, and healthy is also important. Okay, so don't be afraid to learn. You're never too big to ask questions. And one beautiful thing that I have realized about voiceover talents across the globe is that most voiceover talents are actually very nice people. They're willing to share information. They're willing to, help you when there's need, because most voiceover talents are passionate about what they do. So don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to, learn from someone who has, whether you can connect directly to the person or not, always be willing to learn. Okay? There's more, but they said I should give 3. So
King E always has more and more and more. And this is where we draw a curtain on this discussion session. I mean, it's been an interesting one. Thank you so much for inspiring us, telling us to dare to network and to see it much more than just voiceovers, but something as a business of some sort. So I want to say a very big thank you on behalf of APVA and of everyone listening and watching right now for being a part of the 2023 APVA Awards. And we hope that next time when we call on to you, you would answer and respond.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, T-Code. And APVA, thank you. Kudos, you guys. Well done.
Great. So thank you very much, Kingi. And we join the rest of the team as we enjoy the rest of the APVA Awards 2023. See you guys later.